How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Blue Shifting, and welcome back to ReWrite Plus, or just ReWrite Edition. Like, it's kind of like a revamp of it. Thank you guys so much for your support so far of the series. It's been really fun, and yeah, this is a very interesting and immersive world. It's got this kind of blend where, like, you can definitely feel the age of this visual novel, but with that comes that love and care that came with a lot of the passion projects of the early visual novel eras. And you also get this touch of just like the modernization it's gone through. And so it's this weird marriage that you get, but it's been really cool to see. Last time we saw the transfer student girl who is hilariously ditzy, but also seems insanely strong and impervious to most physical damage from falling off of cliffs and just being fine. So I don't know if there's like a superpower involved with that or what, but that was interesting. But apparently we didn't have a great first impression with her. I get it. She was interesting though. So yeah, now we're gonna continue on with our journey, just floating through our life, because that's kind of like what it feels like with this main character. He seems like he just is kind of just going through the motions. Like, he's fine. There's nothing wrong. He's relatively happy, I would say, but I don't feel like he has a whole lot of tangible stuff that he really cares that much about. Like, he cares about the people around him, at least enough to like go out of his way to like interact with them and try to remember things about them. But I haven't seen any real display of any clubs that he's interested in, any types of hobbies, or any types of, drive that he has, other than just to be a person, And the thing is, like, that is a drive. Like, there are a lot of us who struggle to feel like you can just be a person, right? Like, a lot of us feel like we have to hide things, a lot of us feel like we can't be honest with ourselves. I think he's kind of along the same guidelines, where he just kind of wants to have a normal, fun life, and no thing's really getting in the way of it per se, but I also don't feel like he's getting a whole lot of fulfillment. He talks about how, like, he doesn't feel like he actually interacts with people, that they all accept him, that they acknowledge him, but that at the same time, they don't really understand him. And I think that that's a very common thing, especially for people who are like in their younger years, your teenagers, early college attendees, but it could be anybody. You could be in your 80s and feel like that. You could be 6 and feel like that. Like, I just think it's a very interesting perspective, and one that I think does communicate very powerfully with a lot of the types of people who will find things like visual novels appealing. I think the majority of us are the people who enjoy good stories. We like being taken to a world that's not our own. We like to experience ideas, concepts, and situations that we can't experience on our own, and kind of hypothetical lives and hypothetical experiences through novels and visual novels and movies and all that stuff. So yeah, it's been very interesting so far, and it's very not meta, but it's very intrinsic of what I deem as really makes a good story. This idea of like starting at a place where we all can kind of relate, and then starting to experience a world that we can't have and see what we think of it. So let's see what other mysteries we can unlock today. But yeah, that's enough rambling. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's get started. So looks like we're at the end of our school day. That's everything. With that, homeroom ends.
Otsukare.
Kotori, yes, thank you for showing up. You too. You couldn't follow what she was saying, could you? What happens when you miss enough school? We got pretty far over the past few days. The midterm's gonna be tough for you, I think.
マジやばいかもだよ。
Yeah, you might. I think your attendance might be the biggest issue.
それは平気だと思う。ギリで。
You're not in any clubs either? I'll bet the teachers will have a hard time giving you recommendations. I could totally see her saying something like, I attended no clubs during high school, which is how I learned the importance of going back home as soon as possible at a job interview. Following Kotori's example, I never ended up joining any clubs either. Okay, yeah, that was right. I got that impression, and that's correct. Want me to help you study?
そうしてもらえる？
Well, it's not like I'm that good myself, but
知ってる。
I wish we had a friend who was actually good at schoolwork.
あだ名が博士とか。
Yeah. But it'd be boring if all they did was good at studying. They'd have to be someone fun to hang out with, too.
そうなの？
Having someone around who takes things too seriously can get pretty stressful. I'm sorry, I probably would be a buzzkill for you. I fall silent, remembering what happened last year. Back then, I tried hanging out with a group of my classmates, but it only caused me stress in the long run. You've got to be on the same wavelength, if you know what I mean.
わかる気がする。
Someone easy to talk to, but who isn't part of any group already. Actually, I could think of someone like that.
私もある。
We both look over at Yoshino. Wonder if there's a Yoshino like that somewhere. We were speaking loud enough for him to overhear.
いつか潰す。
Embarrassed, he picks up his bag and leaves the classroom.
避けられてるね。
Well, yeah. Yeah, but he's the last person in our class with any friends.
動機が不純なのかも。ちょっかい出してばっかりだし。
I don't know if we get... I feel like we're not malicious. If anything, we had a blast with him, even though he was embarrassed by it. That's his own fault. I mean, you see how ridiculous it is. He looks when he tries to act cool. I can't help but think he's encouraging me at this point.
困ったもんだよ。
Yeah. Ah, dang. I'm gonna be late.
何かご用事？
I've got a job interview.
バイトすんだ。
It's just a little part-time job, nothing serious.
どんなの？
Well, wanna come? I don't think it'll take too long.
今日はよしとく。しばらくぶりの学校だし、友達とお話でもしていくよ。
Alright. See you tomorrow, I guess.
その予定だよ。またね。
Talking to friends, huh? I don't want to pry, though. Yeah, because our impression of her was that she didn't have any friends, so who is she talking to? Inhabitants of a wealthy town usually end up with enough money to spare their children from the need of work. We have lots of rich kids at our school. My family isn't exactly poor either, but due to certain circumstances, I decided to find myself a part-time job. It could be anything, really. Anything that would broaden my horizons. I need something that'll help me change. Yeah, so he looks like he's looking for meaning in his life. I mean, good grief. Same here, dude. Same here. Lots of people around here. The amount of people in the streets has increased. It's completely different from how it was just a few months ago. Literal pedestrian traffic jams are forming on the sidewalks. If it's like this in the afternoon, I'm afraid to imagine how it'll be around dinner time. Right, it's already October. The festival season is drawing near. No wonder there are more people outside. In the fall, the entire town turns into one big festival, so it takes a while to prepare for it. I love the fall. Fall's the best. A ton of flyers recruiting part-time help are covering the bulletin board in front of the station. Harvest Festival short-term part-time position, 1,100 yen per hour. Looking for a hall staff, high schoolers welcome, 750 yen per hour. Wow, so the first job was like $11 an hour, roughly, and that job's $7.50 an hour. Looking for Harvest Festival beer hall servers. Hard labor at a construction site, November 1st, 9,500 yen per day. That doesn't sound worth it. So it's like $95 a day, and it's hard labor. So based on my experience, you should expect 10 to 12-hour days on like work days. Like there might be days that are really short and you'll get paid the same amount, but they're going to be pushing you as hard as they can. So if they're doing like 10 hours, that's like $9.50 an hour. Like that's not much at all. Would you like to contribute to this year's Harvest Festival? Looking for concert hall floor staff. Harvest Festival special event staff, 1,200 yen per hour. Most of the jobs listed are related to the festival. The pay sounds pretty nice for all of them, though I bet it means there's nowhere near as easy as they sound. But I don't mind. It could be hard labor for all I care. However, I already have an interview scheduled at another place today. It's almost time. Hope you're dressing up, Goy. But he's probably just gonna show up.
面接はこれで終わりです。採用通知は電話でいい？
Editor, interesting. Yes, that's fine.
じゃあ、お疲れ様でした。
Thank you. The interview went pretty well. I chose a part-time job as a writer for a local magazine. It's a pretty weird publication. All they want from me is 2 interesting articles a month, regardless of the genre. Okay, so it's kind of like tabloidy, I guess. Something that fit well with the colorful images. I have to research whatever subject matter I want to write about myself, though. However, anything was fine, whether it was a report on local events or something involving the writer's own hobbies. They value your ability to entertain over the actual content of the writing. The most important part of the article they publish is conveying the author's enthusiasm to the readers. I could probably do that job, actually. It's not that much different from writing a blog. But then again, it also doesn't really pay that well. You only get to cut your cut if your article was chosen to be published in the first place. Still, I like the laid-back style of work. Besides, the young editor I was talking to during the interview is actually a graduate from our school. I was nervous at first, but we quickly found that we had a lot of stuff in common. Personally, I thought the interview went pretty well. And if it's not even dark yet. There's still some time before sunset. Not like I've got anything to do, though. The editor told me they highly recommend keeping a digital camera with me at all times, especially when I was on investigation. They said I could borrow equipment from the office, but it feels like it'd be a pain to keep returning it every day. I can probably invest in a camera if they aren't too expensive. Nowadays, they're not, especially now. When this came out, they probably were fairly reasonable, but like nowadays, you can get a pretty decent camera. Heck, I mean, most of us have our cell phones. Like these come with pretty powerful cameras. Even if you're not having a top of the line model, usually they can take solid pictures. And if you have an editing program at home like Photoshop, you can take the quality of pictures you get from like a camera phone and really make them look crisp. You have to know what you're doing, of course, but nice thing about online tutorials. I'll go withdraw some cash and check out a few stores. Oh, okay. Now we're back to exploring the city. Alright, boo, boo, boo. Let's see. This is one of those things where, like, I don't know if I'm going to keep this in or not. It just depends on if we see something interesting. But, alright, so our across the city, let's start over here. There's a cat here. I'll log in my phone contacts. My amigo. We're friends now. Hey, don't look at me with pity in your eyes. Alright, bus stop. This bus runs to the station. Got lots of buses in this town. There might come a day I'll leave in one of those. Like out of town, like going away. Whoa, look at that. It's like locked. That one's locked too. I wonder if I have to click other ones first. Some dudes are performing in a street band here. That's where you have to start before becoming popular. I wish I was popular too. You have to start, man. You just said it. Like, you don't just do it. This is a business district. I wonder if it'll end up working here in the future too. Being a civil servant wouldn't be too bad. Or a TV star. That building's huge. It'll suck to clean all those windows. I don't know, that might be, it depends on how your feeling of heights are. If you feel like you might be, if you enjoy the sensation of flying, you might actually not feel that bad about it. There's a dog here. I log into my phone contacts. Mi amigo. We're friends now. Hey, don't look at me with that pity in your eyes. So we got a cat and a dog who pity us. It's a perfectly normal vending machine here. It doesn't look like anyone's forgotten to take their change. You looked for change? Might as well get something to drink. Non-Diet Cola feels darn fine after not having it for a while. You want me to drink more? Sugary coffee's pretty good from a can. More? You want me to drink even more? Something like molten gold to soothe the man's throat. Why are you so obsessed with this vending machine? I could keep drinking this crap all day, or we can go do something that's actually interesting. That's one pretty nice, though. More! You just won't quit, will you? Ugh. I can't even taste it anymore. More! You may not have noticed, but I'm reaching my limit here. I vomited it all up. More! Are you trying to kill me? He's like talking to me though. It's super meta. It's weird. People used to live where the roads were built, but they were running out of their homes due to urbanization. Few can survive on hunting and gathering these days. I mean, most people can't. Lots of shops around here. I haven't even been on half of them yet. Still got a long road to completion. That's where I want to go. Are there any more little clicky bubbles? There were some locked ones. Nope, they're still not available, looks like. Oh, that one is. Another street band. They're everywhere these days. Wait, is that Yoshino doing the vocals? That's interesting. He does seem like the kind to be in a band, though. There's a crow here. I'll log it into my phone contacts. Mi amigo. We're friends now. Hey, don't look at me with pity in your eyes. I prefer a human friend, too. It's so cute. Empty lot. The heck is this, a boar? I log it into my phone contacts. Mi amigo. I'm now friends with this thing. Hey, don't look at me with pity in your eyes. I prefer someone of species I can identify too, particularly a human. So, like, we made friends with a cat, a dog, a crow, and a question mark boar. Oh my god, there's an orc here! An orc monster from that one fantasy world. Oh wait, it's just a fat dude. I'll log him into my phone contacts. Mi amigo. This Arcus human and I are friends now. But they walked away before I could strike up a conversation. It's a bit lonely to set out on my quest alone, but life still has only just begun. So our quest to make friends has gone just swimmingly. I look around for a bit. I can't find anything good in the end. Honestly, I can't really tell which ones are the good to begin with. I guess I should do some research before wasting my money. It's probably about time I call it quits, especially since I found myself in an unfamiliar back alley. This is a bit creepy. A group of dangerous-looking youngsters seem to have been having fun a bit further down the way. They're chatting while crouched by the wall with some of them practicing dance maneuvers or something. They come from a different world than me. It'd probably be bad if I attracted their attention. I better pass by them as quick as I can. Of course. Oh, crap. A giant of a man stands before me. It was probably a bad idea to come here in my rich kid uniform. What is it? The man has a big tattoo of the flames stretched across his face. It looks, stylish. He seems to be running a shop. All sorts of trinkets are lined up on the stand in front of him. Alright, that's creepy. That's right. Yeah, this is like in the early thousands or like 2005, 6, 7, 8. Like that's when camera phones were pretty blah. I suppose so? That looks pretty expensive. How much? The man's lip curls upward in a hyena-like smile. It's the face of someone who was murdered before. Nothing really, just 50,000 yen. I'm not sure I have that kind of money. Sorry. I dart away from the creepy man. Run! Phew, almost got sold a low-quality copy of some popular brand at a premium price. Probably made a mistake by coming into these back alleys. After walking for a while, I come upon another stand. The shopkeeper gives me a friendly smile. Lots of digital cameras are lined up on the stand as well. Well, that certainly looks better. How much are your digital cameras?
一つ1000円から。
That cheap? Are you serious?
毎度ありがとうございます。3つで2000円です。
Are you sure about that discount? I can't possibly say no.
ちょい待ち。
何?
A man in a fashionable clothes draws near. Fashionable? He's in a purple jacket. He's got, like, 70s style shades.
あんたそれさ、パチモンだよ。
He points at the cameras. Huh?
外国製の品質の低いやつ。しかも違法コピー品。
I mean, that's pretty obvious. He's selling him on a stand in an alleyway, and he's selling him for extra cheap. Like, first time of scam is somebody who has to, like, show you goods underneath their jacket because they don't want to be spotted by officials, or people with a stand that they're selling insanely cheaply. Like, if a deal's too good to be true, it is.
パッケの裏見てみ。
I do as he says. Extremely small, barely visible letters spell out, "This is the joke product designed to resemble a high-quality camera." Even the font quality of this thing's awful.
ね?
I place the 3 cameras back on the stand. The man in fashionable clothes picks one up instead.
見てくれだけは丁寧に作ってやんのな、これ。この辺りも怪しい連中が増えたもんだよな。おっちゃんよ。
何のことでしょう。
いいんだよ。こんなの騙される方が悪いんだし。ただそいつ、俺の知り合いだから、勘弁してやって。
いや、まあ。
Thank you very much.
いいよいいよ。なんか無邪気に騙されかかってたんで、
But do we really know each other?
あ、適当。
I mean, that's obvious too. Thought so.
その制服は、風子?
Yeah, I'm Tennouji Kotarou, second year. He looks me up and down with a curious look in his eye.
天王寺くんね。
Is there something wrong with my name?
いや、ここで何してたの?
I was looking to buy a digital camera.
なんだ、一応カメラはマジで探してたのか。
Yeah, I need it for my part-time job.
バイトね。もしかして収穫祭のバイト？
Nah, not this time. Yeah, I'm looking for a good scoop.
まあ、あの時期なら頑張りゃデジカメ分の元くらいは取れるか。
That's the plan.
そっか。天王寺君はそういう人か。
I suppose so. What about it?
いやいや、いいんだけどさ。まっとうな学生さんやってんだな。
You talk as if we've met before. It's like an unspoken question of his has already been answered. Huh?
デジカメ探してるんなら最初のタトゥーしたやつの店がいいと思うよ。
Seriously?
マジマジ。あいつは好きでやってるから品質は保証。ここフリマだから型落ちが多いけど高級機の名機しか並べてないから。
Interesting. So it was expensive, but it was actually worth it. So that 50,000 yen one was actually a good deal? Wait, this place is a flea market?
一応ね。客層がこんなだからスラムっぽいと思われてるみたいだけど。
And the location.
まあ最近は怪しいやつも多いから騙されないようにした方がいいと思うよ。じゃ。
The man prances away. I didn't even have the chance to ask his name. But for whatever reason, I feel a tinge of nostalgia as I watch him go. I'm pretty sure I was meeting him for the first time in my life, though. Have I seen him somewhere before? But no matter how hard I rack my brain, I can't remember anything. Well, whatever. I decided to go back home. I like the music, by the way. The music in this is great. Ah, hello, transfer girl. I hear the ringing of my alarm clock. Still half asleep, I punch in the general direction of the perpetrator of this auditory nightmare, quickly silencing the noise. I'm up. I fall back asleep. Yep, we're gonna be late today. Huh. And that's why I was almost late today. It could have happened to anyone, really.
じゃあこれ寝癖？新しいヘアスタイルかと思った。
Hey, you know what? If that's your first impression of my worst kind of haircut, that's not hairdo. That's not bad, huh? I give myself a look in the hand mirror. Ugh, I didn't have time to fix it up yet. I need to head back to the bathroom as soon as I can. Yoshino's staring at me from his seat. Why don't you join in the cheerful morning conversation, Yoshino?
うるせえ。
Typical reaction. I probably have to give up on giving him having a cheerful morning conversation with Yoshino today.
なんか、吉野くん、侍っぽい。
If the samurai was like super grungy, edgy, is that how you see him? Yoshino looks away, pretending as though he isn't interested in our conversation in the slightest.
赤ジャケットの人の仲間っぽい。
Okay, sidekick. Yeah, that makes sense. Ah, yeah, the dude who can cut through steel. Look, his lips twitched. I bet that made him really happy.
うるせえ。黙れ。
Our homeroom teacher enters the classroom when the bell rings, but everyone remains locked in conversation, not even glancing at their seats. All of this discussion has converged on one subject. The transfer student who was supposed to show up yesterday. We had already assigned a desk and chair for her, but they sat the entire day in the corner of the classroom, bereft of their owner. Our homeroom teacher seemed to realize the subject of discussion, so she decided not to interrupt.
転校生さん、今日も来てないのかな？
Nah, I'm pretty sure Teach is just building up the suspense.
気になるな。
Kotori is reacting in the exact way the teacher had planned. Well, I already met her yesterday, though.
え、そうなの？
Yeah, I ran into her on the slope leading to the school and showed her the way to the staff room. Wait, I didn't exactly show her there, now that I think about it. Yeah, I just met her again at the staff room, actually.
おお。じゃあ、転校生エスコート第1号は小太郎さんだね。
Sure, friends. We'll use a lot of air quotes with this series, I get. Sorry, that didn't actually work out that well. If anything, I managed to get her to hate me in record time.
はい、皆さん、席についてください。始めますよ。
Teacher glances around the room, the glint in her eye wordlessly saying the time is nigh.
はーい。
Yoshino throws his upper body across his desk, clearly showing no interest. Hey, Yoshi, don't you want to hear about the transfer student?
気安く話しかけんな。ま、あともう一度その呼び名使ったら、オンザベッドインホスピタルを覚悟しな。
He wants me to book a bed. That sounds kind of lewd to my ear, but I decided to ignore that for the moment since I don't want to stray too far from my main point. You may say that, but I know you're curious. At least a little, right?
何一つ分かっちゃいね
But you are curious, aren't you?
え。ねえっつったらねえ。
How did you feel when Ohtori called you a samurai?
どうとも思わねえ。てめえと一緒にするな。
That's genuine anger. Oh, my bad. Didn't mean to offend you.
バカにしてやがるな。いちいち頭にくる野郎だ。
We're not even trying.
情けねえほどボコボコにして、てめえ自身を転校生にしてやろうか。
Okay, I get what you're going for, but that really didn't make any sense.
吉野くん、ちょっと静かにしてね。
邪魔が入りやがる。
Yeah, the teacher begins to take attendance like usual, but no one's listening at this point. They're all too curious about the transfer student.
じゃあ、ここで転校生を紹介します。昨日一日期待させちゃいましたか？
Yeah, I wonder how she'll introduce herself. Guessing she'll do something goofy.
ではみんな、拍手で盛大にお迎えくださいね。
A slight commotion spreads through the classroom. Even Yoshino directs his eyes to the door.
じゃあ、転校生さん、どうぞ。
It's like okay. The clamor in the classroom grows even louder. And in complete contrast to that wave of excitement, Ohtori silently enters the room. Ohtori, not Ohtori, Ohtori. Having spoiled myself and her identity yesterday totally ruined the moment for me. I glanced at my side to see Yoshino already lying draped across his desk again. Look, Yoshino, it's Ohtori, the transfer student.
天王寺くん、ネタバレ厳禁ね。
Spoilers! I'm sorry. Whew, almost committed cardinal sin. As for Ohtori...
天王寺
Hi! She didn't say anything this time, but the look on her face totally spells out her disgust. She's glaring right at me.
じゃあ、元気よく自己紹介をみんなにね。転校生の大鳥千早です。よろしく。
She sounds oddly reserved. Almost like she doesn't want to be here.
よろしく。
But the guys decide to interpret it as more nervousness and answer her with excited smiles. To be honest, Ohtori's pretty good looking compared to the average girl for sure. And besides, most people have inflated expectations that prove to be wrong 99% of the time for transfer students. I agree, especially if it's even remotely close to what they usually depict in these types of games in anime, which I'm sure is an exaggeration of real life, but still, I imagine it's very true. The outlaw next to me looks like he isn't interested at all, though. Hey, Yoshino, look! Ohtori, the transfer student, is pretty cute.
興味ね
Jeez, you're so cold.
周りのくだらねえ連中みてえに騒ぐ気はねえんだよ。どんなやつであろうとな。
You really do prefer them ugly, huh?
ちげえよ
Huh? So you were gay the whole time?
誰がほんだてめえ
Some of the girls nearby start whispering about Yoshino's sexual orientation, adding a different kind of clamor to the talk of the transfer student filling the room. They glance at us with suspicious eyes. Uh-oh. Wait, us? Oh, crap! Of course I'd be the one.
てめえ吉野天王寺なんつうカップリングが定説化したら生かしちゃおかねえ
Oh no, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. I didn't expect you of all people to care about rumors.
うぜえもう近寄んな
Actually scared me, like in real life, he kicks me in the leg. Ow! I'm sorry.
ちなみに制服については事情があって、しばらくこのままだそうです。あまり深く詮索しないであげてね。じゃあ席は、とりあえず次の席替えまでは定番の一番後ろかしら。
The usual one.
はいです。
The one at the very back? Huh, doesn't that mean she's right behind us?
じゃあてめえの後ろだ
Oh no. Hey, it's the perfect chance for you to make a new friend. She already despises me anyway.
てめえの知り合いだろ俺は群れるのが嫌いだ
She gives me a careful look. Then her eyes wander to the door. She must have been planning to place her seat there instead.
じゃあ正面の方が見やすいわね。天王寺くんの後ろでいいかな？
Oh man! Ohtori begins panicking. I don't even know what to do myself. Sitting beside someone she hates wouldn't be a pleasant experience for her. I don't want to ruin her social life. Besides, I don't want to get involved in the whole transfer student fever either. I'll have to help her out here for both our sake. Leave it to fate or help her out? It's an interesting question. If we help her out, we help her avoiding us. But leave it to fate, she's just probably gonna end up sitting behind us anyway. We're not terrible people, though. This is interesting, because it's one of those choices that I'm not too sure what'll happen. I don't know. I'm kind of a leave it to fate kind of person. You know, maybe we're going to be friends. Maybe she's going to hate me for the rest of life. We'll let things just work their way out. And then again, I'll probably attract even more unwanted attention if I open my mouth. I decided to leave it to fate. Oh, she seems to have gone for an idea. Indeed, no one would force her to sit in the back if she has bad eyesight.
健康診断書は読みました。視力は 2.0 でしたね。
Oh no! Teach puffs out her chest, proud of how much attention she pays to her students.
あ、2.0 になってますが、実はもっと見えるって特技を披露しちゃうの？あ、いえ、そういうわけじゃないです。
Ohtori lets out a sigh and walks toward me. She must have given up. She picks up the desk from the corner of the room and carries it behind me.
じゃ、連絡事項を。
Teacher begins jotting down the dates of the class representative meetings in the corner of the blackboard. The desk lands behind me with a clink. It'd be best to use the opportunity to say something nice to her. It's possible she's softened up since yesterday. I have an idea. I'll express my goodwill by giving her a nickname right off the bat. Oh no. Like they used to in all detective shows. Yo, Cherry! Why are we such an a-hole? She lifts the desk up with a single hand. People get confused, so please don't do that anymore. She places it back on the floor.
よろしくお願いします。できるだけ関わらないようにです。
Why did we do that? Nice to meet you. Yoshino looks shocked by the display. It might be hard to believe, but our transfer student is actually a monster in women's clothing, at least as far as physical strength is concerned. Why? The students gather around Ohtori's desk as soon as homeroom ends.
ねえ、どっから来たの？
趣味とかは？部活どっか入るの？
ぶっちゃけ彼氏とかいるの？っていうか、いないなら俺立候補。
Wow, okay. Bold? Applause for the attempt. But that's creepy more than anything else. You don't just say like, oh, if you don't have a boyfriend, keep me in mind. It's like, who's going to actually take you up on that offer unless they're desperate? If they're desperate, do you really want to be in a relationship like that? Those are the usual stock questions a transfer student receives. The last guy will probably never become friends with her, though. Only Yoshino and I witnessed her monstrous display earlier. Seems like we want to piece around our seats for a while, Yoshino. Unable to switch locations, he simply turns his back to the crowd. While I'm drowning in a sea of people, everyone tries to keep a polite distance away from Yoshino. I feel kind of awkward being the only one just not struck by the transfer student fever. Might as well go to the bathroom. Want to go for a piss together, Yoshino? Stop associating yourself if you don't want people to not think about that.
気色悪い。ソロで行ってこい。
This is not a thing guys do. Well, expected him to react like that.
てめえといい、転校生といい。
I mumble something as I turn to go.
なんで俺の周りにはろくなやつがいねえんだ。頭にくるぜ。
He makes sure to say it loud enough for me to hear. I decided not to react, like I haven't heard anything. As I'm about to leave the classroom, the door suddenly opens.
あらら、ちょうどいいわ。天王寺くん。
Hi, hi. Yes?
職員室に大鳥さんの教材がいくつか届いてるの。せっかくだから校舎の案内も兼ねて連れてってくれないかしら。
Alright, I get the feeling the teacher just ships us crazy. Me? Why didn't you bring them here yourself?
先生、うっかり屋さんなの。
Did she? I could totally imagine her doing that. Like, what's that little pose they do? Like stick the tongue out and bop their own head. She's trying to act cute with me.
じゃ、よろしくね。私は他の授業があるから。
Who are you? Is she kidding? No. Can't you have someone else do it, or? But she already left. Seriously. I really don't feel like the best person for this job. There's the possibility I could convince someone else to do it for me, but Yoshino's out of the question. He probably won't even reply to me at this point. In which case... ask Kotori, appeal to Kotori, or leave it to Kotori. Like, just abandon her to it, ask her politely, or appeal to her. I'm gonna appeal to her. I literally have only one choice. I probably should have made more friends. Well, too late for regrets. Oh, come on, we can still contact the cat. Kotori isn't around. Where could she have gone at such an important time? That said, she usually acts alone, so it isn't unlikely that asking anyone in class will net me any useful information. In which case... Look, it wasn't my first pick either, okay?
なんでよりによってあなたなんですか?
I wish I knew. Animosity lingers in the air. I can feel palpable pressure emanating from behind me. But I still have to show her around, whether I like it or not. Ohtori, this is Class 2B's room.
見ればわかります.
Of course you can. This is the end of the conversation. We continue on in silence. Our footsteps sound oddly loud in the empty corridor. I know it isn't right to let things get so awkward when we've only just met. Maybe I should try apologizing properly? It's not like anything that she seems to blame me for is technically my fault. I don't know, dude, you called her Cherry. Maybe our personalities are simply incompatible? Well, now that I think about it, I may have got a bit overboard with the jokes at her expense. Let's try. Ohtori? To be honest, I do feel bad about what happened. And I'm sorry for making light of it. I won't do it again, so... I turn around. I'm sorry. I bow my head as low as I can. Wait, there's no one here! Where did she go? Hey, Ohtori! I return to the corridor, only to glimpse her receding figure.
どこ行ってたんですか?
That's what I'd like to ask you. How can you get lost while following someone?
ちょっとよそ見してる間にいなくなってたのはそっちです。おかげで意もしない誰かにあそこに見えるのは何ですか? とか聞いちゃったじゃないですか?
Well, I mean, we did the same. We literally talked to nobody. That's... Sounds like I'm not the only one who's experienced an awkward situation.
またしても屈辱です。
Hey, that wasn't deliberate, okay? She glares at me. Doesn't look like this is a good time to try apologizing again. Let's go.
あ、待ってください。
Huh?
あそこに見えるの何ですか?
She points at the window. Oh, is there anything strange out there? I glance at the inner courtyard of the gym beyond it. The building over there is the gym.
体育館。へえ、そうなんですか。
It may look a bit unusual, I guess, but it's perfectly normal inside.
そうですか。
It feels like the atmosphere is mellowing out a bit.
じゃあ、さっさと案内してください。
Ah, sure. Looks like the curiosity has momentarily overtaken her dislike for me. I totally missed my chance to apologize. Hopefully try again. Because his attempt was actually great, even though she wasn't there. We reached the stairs. Be careful not to trip. Hey! Ohtori's still looking out the window. I just can't let you out of my sight, huh? That's probably exactly how she lost me last time. What did you find this time, Miss Transfer Student?
あ、いえ。こっちからだと街が全部見渡せるんですね。
That's awesome. I mean, it must be a pain getting to school walking up a massive hill, but like the idea of being able to overlook a city in your school is pretty cool. Well, yeah. I open the window for her. Ohtori leans out through it. Holding her hair down in the wind, she lets out an impressed gasp.
本当に緑だらけですね。
That's why we call it Kazamatsuri. It's an eco city.
話には聞いてましたけど。
I look out the window for behind her. As someone born and raised in this town, it looks perfectly ordinary to me. Perhaps it looks different for someone like her, though. You could say people here are obsessed with greenery. Like, down there, you can see the spot that's totally covered in trees, right?
あ、はい。
Well, when I was a kid, there was a huge concrete building there. But the whole thing burned down in a fire. The government left the ruins untouched at first, but then it didn't even take them a year to make another park out of the place instead of rebuilding it. And now it's all green, as you see. The soil there is probably good for vegetation. This town never misses out on a chance to plant more trees.
へえ。街全部がそうなんですか。
Dang, I want to live here. That sounds amazing. I love trees. I love forests. And so like seeing a place that's so focused on it and making greenery be as like plentiful as possible sounds really appealing to me. The soil in these parts is pretty good for plant growth, I'm told, so I guess that's just how things naturally turned out.
あっちの方は何です？
Ah, those are the farmers' fields. They're responsible for producing the food for the city dwellers.
へえ。なんだか緑の海みたいですね。
That sounds a bit poetic. I've never seen the real sea myself.
そうなんですか？
I've lived here my entire life. Does this place look unusual to you?
珍しいかは知りませんが、私は好きです。情緒というものがないんですね、あなた。
I guess I'm just used to it. Unfortunately for her, I'm planning to leave as soon as I can and live independently. I want to be a big city boy instead. People always want what they don't have. I wouldn't be surprised if I learned that the most city dwellers would rather move to our town. Not to say I don't have good memories of this place.
住むんだったら向こうの開けたあたりが良かったです。散歩道に困らなさそうですし。
It's interesting. So I think to myself, like, I grew up in countryside, like I a suburby kind of place, but it was a small town in a very like large open plain kind of area. So like I don't feel like a city person, and yet I'm not like, I definitely feel the pull towards countryside. I mean, someday if I get like my ideal, I'd like to have a property with a lot of space and maybe could like have some like basic like animals like chickens and goats and stuff. Like, I think it'd be kind of fun and be able to kind of have the more naturalistic type approach to life. I don't know. I obviously not like wanting to be a farmer or anything, but like just being able to have a place of your own, like a homestead, just feels really like, that seems appealing to me. And like a part of that appeal, I think, comes from the fact that like when I would visit my grandparents, they lived up in the mountains in Montana on a lake, which I love lakes. I love being next to the water, but just being able to grow up around so much space and nature, I think gave me that big appreciation for it. And while like cities are fun to visit, I wouldn't want to live there. Like every time I go to like Chicago or New York City or like Washington, D.C., like I go there and I'm excited to see like the sights and the buildings and the historical stuff. But like whenever I'm traveling between points, I just get depressed. So I wouldn't want to live there just because it wouldn't fit me. It doesn't fit me at all. Well, I'm glad our humble town turned out to be to your liking.
嫌いですか？
I'm not sure.
やっぱりあなたと分かり合える気がしません。
Wait, what?
まあ、行きましょう。
Whatever you say. At her urging, I'll resume our stroll. I feel like I'll never truly understand how people from the outside think about things. This town might be special, but for me, it's just a part of my ordinary life. My point of view is that of outsiders are completely separate axis of judgment, making it impossible for us to understand each other. In other words, it looks like Ohtori and I aren't very compatible. I wonder how I'll feel about this place once I move elsewhere. Like a seaside town, for example, or the so-called concrete jungle of the big city. Someplace completely new where I'll have no friends or acquaintances at all.
Yeah!
Whoa, what the fetch? Oh no. I also wonder if there's truly any need for me to try and find common ground with this transfer student who's currently tumbling down the stairs alongside an empty cola can. Are you okay?
大丈夫です。
She stands up. Are you sure you didn't get hurt? I've never seen someone tumble down the stairs like that before.
お尻打ってあざになってるかもしれません。押すと痛いし。
I mean, that's not too bad. People can die falling down the stairs. That sounds serious. Let me take a look.
このちょうど。
Oh no! She freezes in the middle of lifting up her skirt.
で見せますか？
She jumps to her feet and tramples the ground like an angry velociraptor. I suppose you wouldn't. It doesn't look like she's seriously hurt at all. She really is a one sturdy gal.
とにかく大丈夫ですからさっさと行きましょう。
It's a good thing she's sturdy. She seems really clumsy. You're the one who's been slowing us down. It'll be bad if we take too much time and end up late for class. Best course of action at the moment is I'll take Ohtori's hand. She promptly pulls it away from me. I just thought it'd be safer to keep you close.
何の根拠があってそんなこと言いますか？
I've lost you, and now you've fallen down the stairs. Evidence 2. 1. You got lost when you walk by yourself. 2. You fall down the stairs when you walk by yourself. 3. This has all happened multiple times before. I think that's quite enough reasons to be worried about you. It's not like there's anyone in the corridor around this time anyway, so there's no point in being embarrassed.
じゃあ手首なら。
Man, we can be smooth. Sure. I take Ohtori by the wrist to continue onward. Feels like I'm looking after a little kid. After retrieving Ohtori's textbooks from the staff room, we head straight back to class. Well, come on. I hold out my hand.
Hi.
She hands me the textbooks. That's not... Well, I guess I can carry them for you. I require your wrist to return to our original location. I know you don't like it, but you've got no one but yourself to blame for how this turned out. I don't want her to be dragged off in an ambulance again. We return the same way we came. Oops. She stumbles on the stairs again. You really like the fall a lot, miss. At least you won't get hurt this way. She's like, fine, you did save me. And so we finally reach our classroom. Here we are, safe and sound. You're very welcome. Don't be embarrassed to ask if there's anything else you want me to show you to. In any case, I managed to escort her to the classroom in one piece. Though I'm not entirely sure if that helped us grow closer or not. Oh, I'm sure it did. That was actually pretty sweet. Alright, I think we're going to go ahead and end here, just because it's a pretty good pause point. We had a good interaction. Again, I don't like making episodes too long. I like being able to savor the moments, though I definitely can see how early game it can feel a little bit like flat, just because we're just introducing a lot of characters and situations, so we don't get to see a lot of like development. But I feel like there's a lot to chat about today for this episode. I feel like we got to see Ohtori in like a more casual way and get to know her as a person a bit better, which was really cool. Also just kind of just seeing more interaction as a whole, just with the kind of the day as it goes by. Not sure exactly what to expect from here going on throughout the day, but I'm guessing we're going to spend some more time with some other characters or maybe meet someone new. So it just feels like a natural place to end. So far, this game is definitely intriguing me. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of layers to explore here, a lot of interesting things to look at, and I still like how, like, when I'm exploring the map, I can do the meta thing where I can kind of somehow manipulate the main character into doing stuff unnaturally. Like, again, I'm worried that's going to lead to punishments in the future, but at the same time, like, I couldn't help it. It was amusing. And I just think it's really interesting to see like how meta it can feel, but at the same time, it also takes itself very seriously, which is an odd combination I don't think I've ever seen. Usually it's either like a serious game or a game that kind of likes to break the fourth wall and be a goofball kind of a series. Like, it's kind of like the difference between, shoot, what's a good example? Rise of the Shield Hero and Konosuba. They're both isekai, but Rise of the Shield Hero takes itself very seriously. It has a lot of very dramatic, poignant points. It's often like very critical, very like deals with a lot of skepticism, a lot of betrayal, a lot of like trust issues and all that kind of stuff. Very serious topics. And then Konosuba is the opposite. It's very meta, it's very like fourth wall breaking, very goofy. And whilst they covered like the same genre, they take it from such different approaches. You would never really look at the two shows and say that there's much in common with them besides the general fantasy theme. So yeah, I don't know. Like, this feels very much like it's a marriage of those two types of genres, somehow actually fusing them together in a way that really flows well. So it's kind of cool to see. I wonder if that will continue, or if that will slowly like fade away as the game gets more serious. Maybe it's starting meta as a way to kind of keep it like approachable and kind of like give you that entertainment appeal. And then as we eventually get like used to the characters and the setting, it'll start introducing the more serious stuff, and it'll kind of step away from that, which I could see that. That's a decent tactic to kind of hook us initially and then, let the story carry it the rest of the way. Well, we'll get there when we get there. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Thank you especially to the patrons who help make this content possible, who help me like learn this even more. As we get close to the end of the year, there's two things I want to keep you on your mindset, so you can probably hear me talking about them a lot if you listen to the end of these videos. First is that in December, I'm going to be doing a patron cast podcast that I publish to the entire channel without having to, not just limiting it to the patrons. It's a chance for me just to talk about the state of the channel, things that I'm looking forward to, things that I feel like I've messed up. Things I kind of like a broad sense. It also gives you a taste of like what patron cast is like, and like part of the perks that come with being a patron, because like, I really appreciate those who are supporting the channel directly, and I use the resources that I've shared from the patrons to funnel back into the channel to commission more art from fantastic artists, to like better like isolate time in my day to make sure I can make content. It just kind of lifts that burden up, and so I want to make sure that anyone who's doing that feels like I'm supported them, and I want to like continue being worthy of that. So it's a good chance for you to know that. And also in January, we'll be holding like series elections. We got a few new slots that are going to be opening up soon, and I want to kind of get the channel's feel about what you'd be excited to see me play next. So keep in mind that that's not something that's going to be locked, but patrons do get to help me like solidify the list, and then the rest of the channel gets to vote on the overall results. So keep that in mind. Anyway, that's enough ranting. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next video watching me or see me in next, I'll see you there.